Hello, this is Wmpyr. Okay, I received another comment from Mr. Marty Noir, so thank you again, brother. And yeah, I'm here to try to respond back as best as I can. So let's see. He's saying that I understand the tactic now is a more covert one in drawing Professor Bram Frank's knife. So I'm going to try to go into more detail. Uh, yeah, it's not something that you're gonna show off, and it's not something where you're gonna be like, here's a knife, check it out, and I'm attacking you with it, I'm slashing you with it, I'm bringing the knife into combat. I don't think that was the idea, right? um, but I also don't think that this was meant to be covert. So if you wanted to do like concealed carry, and then once it's in your hand, that it basically disappears, that it's like a predator, it's hard to see, right? Predator from the Arnold movie. Um, I think he would have designed it that way if that's what he wanted. I don't think that is the purpose, and I'm not saying that you're saying that that's what it is. I'm just trying to clarify or go into a little bit more detail. I believe the idea here is that the opponent has caught you in a bad position, and they're already attacking you. So at that point, you are in the middle of action. So that's when this comes into play. And so you're defending yourself with this thing in your hand. And if they accidentally punch the ramp while it's closed and you're holding it, then that's great. They might cut themselves, off of the ramp, not the blade edge, but off of the protrusion there. They can hurt their hand. So it's really just using this more like a defensive. It's not really a shield. It's more like a spike. You would still be using your arms, your forearms, like a boxer to shield up and protect yourself. But now you got like this thing that's protruding out like a spike, right? So I think that's more the idea. And then the techniques that he teaches with this thing is a lot of it's pain compliance. So more than half the techniques are pain compliance holds. It's to control the opponent and try to secure them so that when you could survive and protect yourself and neutralize them until the police get there or something. Um, and then like the actual where you're going into offense. What he talks about is like the inch punch, which he learned Jeet Kune Do from Professor Danny Santo. So he's using like the inch punch, almost like a combat shove with the ramp here in the closed position. He's using the ramp right onto their sternum, because no matter how much muscles they are, I don't think the human body puts muscles directly on the sternum, you know, not in dead center. Um, so that's the area that you're targeting. That it's very difficult for the human body to protect that area. So you're using this pain, um, causing pain to create distance, and it's not like you're punching them or something like that. But if you absolutely need to go, medieval, so to speak, then it can be used as like a hammer. He said hammer and then tomahawk. If you angled the ramp and just use one side, then that would be more like a tomahawk. Very specific usage. And then if you angle it even more and just use one corner, because it is rectangle shaped. If you look at it directly head on, the ramp, the little tiny part that sticks out, if you look at it head on, it is cut in a rectangle shape. So that's what he's talking about. If you hit flat with the entire rectangle, that's a hammer. But if you angle it now and use one side, that's a tomahawk. And if you angle it even more and just use one point, then it's the spike of the tomahawk. So, I mean, he talks about stuff like that. So you can just, use that to wail on somebody. Um, and then, of course, the bottom end is actually weighted. You could kind of see it in the picture right there. The closed one for the gunting spear point. By the way, the gunting spear point, this one of my favorite uh, of his blade designs, because the handles are the same. And what he did was that he changed offers different blade shapes. The tactical tanto, obviously, I'm sure is another very popular one. I never had this one. I had the spear point, and that was an amazing, amazing, amazing knife. I could tell you that. I really, really, really liked it. Wish I still had it today. I really, really wish I did. But right now I have the karambit and I have the katana. Those are great too. The katana is a little bit different from the tanto, but anyway, let me get back to. I'm drifting off. Let me get back to the topic. So yeah, you're in the middle of action, and you're using this thing. So you're so busy using it. It's not that it's not presenting it, or the opponent knows and sees it, and they go, I need to back off. That's a different strategy, and I mean I think you can do that with this as well, but it was really designed for just freaking use the thing. And there's been so many situations in real life where the knife is involved that the people don't even know that they were cut or stabbed by a knife until way later, like after they left the scene, and the guy's like, dude, you're bleeding. It's like, what? I'm bleeding? Oh, I didn't even know I'm bleeding. And then all of a sudden, this person needs emergency, is in, needs ER and emergency rescue, and could have died if they were like a couple of seconds later. All of a sudden, things like that can happen. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times people don't even know that they were cut. Just like a lot of times, in a fight, you could get hit, you could get punched, kicked, and you don't feel it. It's very similar to that. But, a knife slash is ultra fast. It's basically invisible. And yeah, like a paper cut, it's and then so you may not even know until it's too late, kind of thing, right? So you could just imagine, and that's with the blade out. It's still hard to see. So Professor Brian Frank's idea here is that in the closed position, it's going to be even more discreet. It's not that you're trying to hide it, but he's saying that in a real life situation, they're busy trying to do what they want to do, and you're busy doing what you're trying to do. There's really no time to see, and unless there's posturing and deliberately, showing it, they may not really, their brain may not pick it up. So yeah, I think that's the idea. So next, let me go on to, I appreciated your real life scenario of withdrawing to the cage, because that seemed like a tactic to create a choice for both parties and providing a force multiplier on your side of the conflict. Is that an accurate assessment? Yeah, I believe so. What it was, I should have had my go-kart because, being a security, right, you're given that, go-kart thing. But at other times, I'm on foot. A lot of times I'm on foot. And so these people came like in a truck. And the parking lot's massive, right? And it's free. It's just this open space. These people came in this like, 4-wheel drive type of pickup truck, and they had the big old headlights, on top, and they're flashing that in my face. I could barely see them. Yeah, I definitely couldn't see the person driving and how many people there were. I couldn't see because you got these lights in your face. And obviously they're doing it on purpose, and they're there to harass me, and they're there to chase me around the parking lot in their 4x4, because they are delinquents. They're brought up wrong, and they're sad people. And anyway, so at that point, staying in the parking lot, I'm playing their game. So that's why I ran into, and I had already thought of this because this wasn't the first time that it happened. So I ran into whatchamacallit, this caged area, and this caged area is narrow. I mean, first of all, to get in there is like a very narrow corridor almost, and then it's a dead end where that kind of sucks. But that was the best place that I could find, and so I figure if worse comes to worse, that's where I'll go in and basically hide. So I'm just following the rule from what they teach against the active shooter, which is run, hide, fight, and in that order. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm running first, and then I hide, and then if they come in to pursue me, then I fight. And once again, if we are going to fight, it's close. It's going to be close quarters. So I almost imagine it like, what is the tactic that the Native Americans used? Where they dug a hole in the ground and they had a knife out and they waited for the person to fall into the hole, and then they would attack them in close quarters. So that was kind of the idea there. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, that place, there was a metal like crowbar looking thing. It was long. It was about almost the length of a Escrima stick, but it's heavy. So I would have used that with, and I would have grabbed it like with both hands, like a bayonet. And yeah, that would have done some significant damage, no matter what they're armed with. Yeah, I think I could have gotten the advantage there. So that was the idea. And that's one of the reasons, until you're put in a situation like that, because like in Escrima, we use the stick. I'd say 99.9999% of the time, just almost like it's a sword, because that's where it comes from sword arts. But it's good to learn other usages, and that's where Captain Fairbairn's method, and it's in his book Get Tough, where he's using a stick with both hands. I'm pretty sure that's where I first saw it, and I've picked it up, and then I did my own research on bayonet fighting and pugil stick stuff, and integrated it to my own Filipino martial arts, and hence that is what I was ready to do in that situation. Now, fortunately, they weren't dumb enough to follow me in there, and so once I went in there, it basically, I waited till it died down, and then they were gone. They got bored or whatever, and they left. But yeah, that was my. I had to do that. It's kind of sad that I had to do something like that, but yeah, I did. So yeah, that's how I survived that situation. So anyway, thank you for your comment, your question, and that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and take care, folks.